All right, what up, everybody? Doing things a little bit differently this week. Obviously the background isn't super, good or anything, but I didn't want to miss an episode. Me and Harrison had some scheduling conflicts and stuff. So this is really, something's better than nothing. And I just wanted to talk about some fights with y'all real quick. Thanks to everybody that subscribed to the channel. The betting video should go up as normal. I know that's what most of y'all are here for anyway. But yeah, just going over UFC Fight Night. Blanchfield versus Fiorot took place last night in Atlantic City. A lot of weird stuff happened, man. Anytime we're not like in Vegas, or I mean, I'm sure there's a few other like places with missions and stuff, but we're in kind of these like random states, that Texas and New Jersey and kind of, or these other places. Like refing and judging is always going to be like kind of questionable, or maybe things might go a little bit differently than can be expected in like Vegas or the Apex or something. So I think that a little bit of that was on display last night. But yeah, let's dive right in this main event. We had obviously Aaron Blanchfield coming in ranked 2, Manon Fiorot coming in ranked 3. Blanchfield, the slight favorite at minus 185. Um, Fiorot coming in at plus 155. And man, we were all over Fiorot as a show, and even more specifically, Fiorot by decision, which did cash. So that was awesome. Got us in the green for like the 5th week in a row, maybe even 6th. But yeah, I mean, we're follow along. That's why you should hit subscribe and watch our betting shows. We give out free picks every week, and they've been winning, folks. They've been winning. Yeah, we gave out Fiorot as our dog of the week and Fiorot by decision as our prop of the week. So both cashed. I'll say, even as a Fiorot better, I thought it was going to be, a little more competitive. Blanchfield had some moments, showed a great chin, showed great heart, never gave up, showed great cardio more than anything. But Blanchfield just had nothing for Fiorot. She had a hard time closing the distance on the longer, better striker that is Fior, should I say? And and Blanchfield, more of a wrestler, more of a grappler. Whenever she was able to close the distance and even get her hands locked, Fiorot's a strength, size, physicality. I mean, she did dig some good underhooks and had some good technique as well, but she was just a bigger, stronger girl, and Blanchfield could not get her down and could not outstrike her. And just, Fiora won every round on every card. She won every round on my card. No 10-8s, no knockdowns or big significant moments, but it did cut her a couple of different times. Had Blanchfield leaking a little bit, nothing crazy. But yeah, man. Great win for Fiorot. Obviously, her first main event. And it wasn't an Apex main event either. I think that counts for a little more when there's a crowd, like they're selling tickets and stuff. I gotta be real. I mean, obviously I bet Fiorot. I had her power ranked 3rd coming into this. I jumped Shevchenko and Grasso in my personal power rankings, man. Like, I'm a believer. Grasso and Shevchenko are doing the whole season of tough and all that. They'll probably fight anywhere from 6 to 12 months. And the reason why that's important, because Shevchenko is only getting older. And then so by the time Fiorot potentially gets her hands on the Shevchenko, should Shevchenko win the trilogy, then, she's going to be, pretty old by then. And then Grasso, I got to be real, man. It's not that I just think Fiorot beats Grasso. I mean, you saw Blanchfield really is about as good of a wrestler grappler that there is in the division, and Fiorot shut that shit all the way down. And then, as far as Grasso can strike, yeah, sure, Grasso can strike. That's a great striking gym down there in Mexico. I don't think she's necessarily outstriking Fiorot. Like, I think she'll do a better job in the striking than Blanchfield did, clearly. But I don't see like Fiorot's probably got the reach advantage, the power advantage. I mean, her ability to fight off the back foot was super impressive in the Blanchfield fight. So I think Fiorot's the best women's flyweight on planet Earth, man. Like shoveling coal, sold. I mean, she was a main eventer ranked 3, so I'm not saying any, not going out on too big of a limb here, but yeah. And then as for Blanchfield, I would love to see Blanchfield Barber next. They've already been Blanchfield's had Barber's name in her mouth a little bit already. The setup's already there for it. I had them power ranked right next to each other. I think Barbara Blanchfield makes a lot of sense. And then the winner of that, they're both still young, but winner of that still in the mix, top five girl, probably still title contender. Yeah, yeah, man. Let's keep it pushing here. Got the co-main event, Joaquin Buckley taking on Vicente Luque. Luque, small favorite at minus 125. Buckley, small dog at plus 105. We did not bet this one. However, I'll admit it, I did pick Luque like on verdict. Luque ranked 11th coming into this one, welterweight division. And this is a big step up for Buckley. Buckley is, I think, 2-0 since dropping from middleweight to welterweight coming into this one. Luque kind of a stalwart, as they would say, kind of perennial top 12 guy in the world. Um, and I picked Luque. I guess I gotta kind of be a believer in Buckley. I always, we made our short. Shout out, y'all been watching our shorts and supporting the channel, and I really appreciate that. But yeah, we made a short, kind of essentially picking Luque. We thought we would have a plan for the kind of athleticism and explosiveness of Buckley. And I guess I'm selling Buckley short, man. He's more than just a really athletic guy. Like, he sets up his shots nice. He cuts good angles. His footwork is ever improving. I mean, great cardio, which was a question early in his career because he was so muscle bound. Yeah, but on top of all that, he's a really good athlete. I gotta say, call it an off night. Call it maybe he's kind of trending downwards. He's not that old though, but a lot of miles. But Luke just couldn't really match the intensity of Buckley. Never really hurt Buckley, even when he would land. Um, yeah, just couldn't match the speed, couldn't match the. It was both physical and mental, though. Like, I feel like Buckley, just call it killer instinct, use what word you want to use, but Luque was in there. Buckley was in there to fight, and Luque was in there to compete and play the sport of mixed martial arts, which Buckley just, was overwhelming and beating him more intense. Ends up getting the second round finish here, ground and pound TKO. Like, Luque basically pulled guard in the second round. It was kind of weird. It was like a failed takedown attempt, if you want to call it a reversal for Buckley, like guard pull for Luque. However you arrive there, Luque ends up on bottom, and Buckley just basically immediately postures and rains down unanswered ground and pound. Pretty precise ground and pound. I liked it. It wasn't just going, being a maniac and losing his mind. He kind of measured, accurate, picked his shots, but devastating ground and pound. Luque was just kind of covering up, showing up. Wasn't really throwing. I don't know why he pulled guard. He didn't throw up a single submission or really attempt to sweep or anything. Didn't have much for Luke or for Buckley off the bottom. Just showed up and just ate ground and pound. I mean, it wasn't a late stoppage because Luque was just showing up and not taking that much damage. But I mean, it was like almost like 90 seconds of unanswered ground and pound. It went on a while. Ref gave him every chance. Buckley, this will get him in the top 15 of the UFC's rankings for sure. I have him right on the outside of my personal power rankings. I have him at 16 because I have Kevin Holland at 15, and Holland beat him. Say what you want about MMA math; it works all the time. And cashes us tickets all the time. And I mean, it was a head-to-head matchup too. It's not really MMA math per se. I mean, I know some years have gone by, and Holland hasn't looked great lately, and Buckley has looked great lately. So eventually, the time might go on. But as of now, I like Holland in that matchup. Um, Much taller, can kind of match the speed and athleticism. Better grappler, but didn't seem to matter much against Luque. But yeah, man, good co-main event. I'm happy for Buckley. Like I said, I was kind of doubting him. I didn't bet this fight. And then Luque probably trending downwards, but he is only 32. He's still really good. There's still a lot of guys on the roster he beats. I want to see him fight Michael Morales, mainly because that'll get Michael Morales higher in the rankings. I'm a big Michael Morales guy. Buckley finds himself in an interesting scenario. You can give him a Magny or a Jane Liang. Um, if they really want to build him, they could give him a Wonder Boy. I mean, if they really, really wanted to build him, I mean, Burns is coming off a couple losses. Getting older, they may want to squeeze the juice out of Burns. Jeff Neal Buckley would be sick. That would be one for the fans. Couldn't go wrong there. But yeah, man, we'll keep it pushing. Featured bout. We got some controversy here. Chris Weidman, 39 years old, plus 165 dog by finish. Bruno Silva coming in as a favorite at minus 200. Harrison took him at minus 235 on one parlay. We got shitted on with the value this week at our local sports book. We had like a worst value on almost all of these. Which came from we placed a lot of these bets early in the week, and usually you can gain value that way. The lines move the opposite way, so don't really regret it. Kind of what can you do? But yeah, there was a bunch like Chidi and Joe Kawani. We got dog shit value on. This is another one. Harrison also had Bruno Silva by KO in a different method of victory parlay. Um, round one, got to give it to Weidman. I really like that head kick he landed. Those clinch knees to the head were pretty damaging. A lot of snoozy clinch though, but there was enough damage to give the round to Weidman. Now round two, I thought was really entertaining until we'll get there. But yeah, I thought it was really entertaining. I think I'm the only person on earth that gave round two to Silva. The announced team was giving it to Weidman. My boy, we call him the third beefy boy in our group chat, Michael. Shout out Michael, big supporter of the channel. Good friend of ours. He gave it to Weidman. I do believe Harrison gave it to Weidman. We were talking about it in the group chat a little bit. So I'm probably all alone out here giving that round to Silva. I mean, he busted up Weidman's eye bad. I mean, Weidman did wobble Silva at the end of the round, but I mean, maybe it was the last 40 seconds of the round, Weidman won. I think the rest of the round, he was kind of getting beat up. I mean, Silva landed wild, ugly, and sloppy, but very damaging and effective kind of big hooks. And we know he's a powerful guy. Start of the third round, we get an eye poke to Silva. And there had been warnings. I think there had been an eye poke earlier in one of the earlier rounds already. Weidman was literally doing this the entire fucking fight, like even after being warned. Everybody can kind of see it coming a mile away. And then we get the rare double eye poke 1-2. Literally, like, got an eye poke. Silva was starting to like fall down and grab his eye and got him with the second one on the other eye with the other hand on the way down. Pretty crazy kind of two-piece eye poke. Don't see that every day. And yeah, man. So Silva become relevant later. Silva kind of like covers up his eyes and falls down and just kind of goes limp and curls up. The fight is not stopped by the referee. Weidman gets on top, pounds him out, gets the unanswered ground and pound. So we think TKO at the time ends up being turned into a decision later. I don't fully get that, honestly, personally, but I thought it should either be kind of ruled a no contest. I mean, so the third round did begin, so I guess they go to the scorecards there. But does round three get scored? Because there really wasn't much to score in round three besides the eye pokes. So if you gave Weidman rounds 1 and 2 all good and well, somebody leave it in the comments if they know the kind of ins and outs of the inside baseball and how that works. I don't fully get all that. I've seen it be turned into a no contest. And like I said, my personal scorecards had it 1-1. That would be a draw. I guess nobody agrees with that take. So I don't know. I like Silva's damage in round 2. But yeah, man. So like I said, initially looks like a TKO for Weidman. Gets overturned by the commission to a unanimous decision for Weidman. I don't remember too many examples of something like that happening. But yeah, I mean, kind of an inconclusive fight, a lot of controversy. Weidman made a decent point, even though like I know the internet hates Weidman right now. And I feel you. I think it was an eye poke. I think it should have been a no contest or maybe even a draw. I think Weidman winning this fight via unanimous decision due to like an eye poke two-piece combo. Not a big fan of it. He made a pretty decent point in his post-fight speech, or not even his post-fight speech and like his post like media. He was talking about how like, hey, I poked him in the eye. He owned it in a way, but he was saying like you can't just like cover up and go limp and shell up if you get poked in the eye. Like you either have to, the referee has to stop it, or you have to keep fighting through it. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, that's not like really like a position I don't think anybody's like really excited to have, but like makes sense and does align with the rules. Like if the fight's not stopped, you have to protect yourself at all times. Like you can't just like curl up in a ball and not defend the ground and pound and get finished and kind of complain about it. So it's like I kind of see both sides. Obviously, if I was Silva or Silva's camp or Silva's friend, I'd be super pissed. But to Weidman's point, like the ref didn't stop the fight. You curled up in a ball and stopped fighting. Like that's a TKO. I see both sides. I honestly see every side except for the unanimous decision. I see a no contest. I see a draw. I see a TKO for Weidman. I see, yeah, like I said, a foul, no contest, eye poke for Silva. The only thing I don't really understand is what we actually get, which is unanimous decision somehow for Weidman. So go figure. Obviously, hurt Harrison's parlays kind of salty because Harrison, that was a parlay buster. That would have been what started off as a 5 leg. The Gato fight gets pulled. It goes down to a 4 leg. He hits the next 3 legs. Bruno Silva money line was the final leg of what would have been a 4 leg parlay. So even if it's a no contest, the 3 leg or draw, the 3 leg still cashes for him. So kind of a bad beat for our boy Harrison. Um, Obviously the Bruno Silva, but also though or like a point deduction. We didn't discuss it. Yeah, maybe a point deduction for Weidman, but didn't happen. So yeah, man, we'll keep it pushing here. A lot of controversy. They're kind of inconclusive. It's kind of hard to transition out of that one. But up next, we got one of my guys. I've been shoveling coal on. I've been high on. I've been ball washing. Nursultan Ruizbayev, 6'5" middleweight with a ton of experience out of Uzbekistan, ton of finishes, can sub you, can knock you out. I mean, I'm high on this guy. I saw some people on the internet weren't as high on him. Like, I don't know what y'all saw that y'all don't like personally. And he's taking on Cedric Dumas, who, I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm not the biggest believer in his skill set. He's got subbed by Josh Fremd. He has a win over Cody Brundage, who I also don't hold in very high regards. So, I bet Ruzboyev in my parlay. Harrison had Ruzboyev in a parlay, and I believe he had Ruzboyev by sub. I think paired with the Bruno Silva TKO on a 2 leg method of victory. And so we were all over Ruzboyev this week, one of our locks of the week. And go figure. I mean, that's another. Like I said, we got screwed on the value here. He finished at -205. Harrison got him at -225. I got him at -260. I lost so much value. So that's brutal as a better. But yeah, I mean, comes out, gets to the round 1 TKO. So this was a kind of foreshadowing to the Weidman Silva fight because Ruzboyev pokes Dumas in the eye. He does. He gets him. Once again, Dumas stops fighting, looks at the ref, and shrugs. Ref doesn't stop the fight. Ruzboyev comes in with a slick uppercut, drops Dumas, and then grounds and pounds him out. So very, very similar, well, albeit less egregious, but like a lesser version of what happened in Weidman Silva. Now, as a Ruzboyev fan and bettor and somebody who's not that high on Dumas, does it bother me less than the Silva Weidman one? Yeah. So maybe that makes me a bad guy. Who knows? But you got to keep fighting. Protect yourself at all times. You can't call your own timeouts. You can't call your own fouls. Is what it is, man. That leg of the parlay cashes. I don't really move Ruzboyev up in my power rankings based off that caliber of win. To be honest, I don't hold it in much regard, and Dumas is probably going to get cut. So sorry about it. See you later. Like I said, I'm high on Ruzboyev. I'm up at 17 in my power rankings. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight like a Paul Craig or a Dolidze or even a Joe Pyfer, Andre Muniz, Kopylov, just somebody better. We got to stop with these can feedings to Ruzboyev. I want to see him fight somebody good. I think he's good enough I think he can go with those guys. Yeah, keep it pushing here. We got featherweights. We got Bill Algeo -250. Kyle Nelson +205. Kyle Nelson looked fantastic, man. He was whooping Bill Algeo's ass. I mean, knees, punches, kicks. Now, Algeo threw up a lot of good kicks of his own, right? If you just chopped up a highlight tape of kicks that Algeo was landing, and he got some slick shit off. But I mean, we get a first round finish here, TKO for Kyle Nelson. Just wobbled Algeo very badly, and then Algeo had kind of the Johnny Walker chicken legs, wobbly legs, was hurt and wobbled very badly. Wasn't defending, was eating more shots. All that being said, I thought it was an early stoppage. Algio never went down, although he wasn't intelligently defending. So it's like if that was ground and pound, it would have been a normal stoppage. The fact that Algio was still standing, people didn't love that. But so it's kind of borderline. Like I don't think Algio was robbed per se, but also like I thought it was a little quick. Like Algio is a guy with a chin that can come back and can take damage. So little borderline. I'll err on the side of that was a quick stoppage, but a great win for Kyle Nelson. It's not like I'm super high on either one of those guys, if we're being honest. Like featherweight's so deep. There's so many guys that, I like, for example, I moved Kyle Nelson up to 39 in featherweight. I mean, featherweight has like 80 guys. So, like, middle of the road guy. Not a bad guy, not a can, but I just don't predict Kyle Nelson going on a run. Bill Algeo, he's a weird one where he has some good wins, but he has some bad losses. And it's just, I think, the result, what you do with it, just kind of a mid featherweight as well. I'm like a tier below Nelson after the result. Keep it pushing here. Main card curtain jerker. We got Chidi and Jokawani dropping down from middleweight to welterweight to take on certified can. Sorry about it. Riz McGee plus $125. I was all over Chidi. This was another one of my locks. I had him on a parlay. Like I said, I got him at minus 225 and he finished at minus 150. The public and the sharps, like the money was coming in on Reese McKee, which I do not get. Like, hey, I get it. The Chidi dropping a weight class. He was kind of a big middleweight. Like, is the weight cut going to be hard? You're putting your money out there. You guys are really out there putting your hard-earned money on Reese McKee. You can't have it. You can't do it. I'm a fade Reese McKee every time. You see where I'm going with this. Chidi gets the win here. I know I actually get a scorecard that no judge has. We have a bullshit split decision here. So one judge gave 2 rounds to Reese McKee, which I did. Chidi won 2 and 3 all day. Now the other 2 judges gave all 3 rounds to Chidi. I gave round 1 to McKee, 2 and 3 to Chidi. Now I acknowledge round 1 was, I thought, super close. I liked Bruce McKee's boxing in round 1. I thought he was landing some good shots. And he kind of abandoned that. And that's how he lost rounds 2 and 3. I mean, round 1 was basically, in my opinion, a coin flip. If you gave it to Chidi, I don't think you're crazy. But I gave 1 to McKee, 2 and 3 to Chidi. No judge agrees with my scorecard, but the right man wins. Chidi by split decision. Gave you a winner there. Super high on Chidi all week. I don't know why y'all was out there betting Reese McKee. Shame on you. Shame on you. And we'll keep it pushing to Nate the Train Landwehr, man. Fan favorite. Love this fucking guy. Never disappoints. I'm not a world beater, but you don't need him to be, right? He's fucking awesome. Plus 155. I did pick him. I didn't bet this one. He was like my third place dog. There was 2 dogs I liked more than him. One we'll get to. The other was Fiorot. Fiorot cashed. So I didn't bet Nate Landwehr, but he's taking on Jamal Emmers, minus 180. And I have Nate Landwehr power ranked above Jamal Emmers. Jamal Emmers is long, is fast. As we saw, very start of the round, hurt Nate Landwehr with that length, with that speed, which kind of like speed converts to power type of thing. He was cracking Nate. He was lumping him up. He cut him. A lot of damage for Jamal at the start of the round. However, man, what do we know about Nate the Train? Chin, dog, heart, balls, Clarksville, Tennessee, stand up. He makes me feel like I'm from Clarksville. I fucking love this guy. But yeah, man, comes back. I mean, weathers the storm, ends up knocking out Jamal Emmers. He was doing like this hockey fighting, dirty boxing, tie clinch uppercuts, shit, just made it nasty. You'll hear it. I mean, it's like a cliche announcer thing to say, like, oh, he's the less skilled guy with the shorter reach. He's going to have to muck it up and make it nasty, make it a dog fight. Like, and nobody ever does it. They just get pieced up. But like Nate Landwehr was able to actually, implement that kind of old school strategy, made it work. Ends up getting like back-to-back right hands that drops Emmers and grounds and pounds him out. Emmers looked so confused. He was like, wait, wasn't I just winning this fight by a wide margin? And like now I'm getting knocked out. Like, what is happening right now? So fun to watch as a fan. Gets him a bonus, as it should have. I personally thought Buckley deserved a bonus as well, especially when we see the that gets fight of the night. I would have rather seen Buckley get a bonus. My 2 cents on the bonuses, but awesome, awesome comeback win for Nate Landwehr. He's fucking awesome. I said not a world beater. I have Nate Landwehr power ranked at like 27. Um, there's a lot of things you could do with him. There's fun fights you can make with him. He's a vet. I'll be watching regardless of how they match make him. And then Jamal Emmers, man, it's not looking good. I believe he has a losing record in the UFC now. I was never as high on him. I don't know why Vegas was so high on him. I had him power ranked in the 50s. Um, yeah, man, I'm just not high on Emmers. I mean, the length, the speed, the power, you see it, but I mean, the guy be taking L's, man. He can't figure out how to like put it all together. So yeah, I don't know why Vegas was so high on him. I said, I guess I can't talk too much shit because I didn't put my money on him, but I did pick Landwehr, and he did win. Um, Keeping it pushing here to a very important fight in the women's strawweight division. I thought this fight should have been on the main card. Like I don't, I know how some people feel about women's MMA, but I mean, you got top 10 ranked girls here. I mean, Jandy Doba and Lupi Godinez. I think like those are fighters fans are familiar with, like highly ranked. I thought it should have been on the main card. I was one of the only people that gave you Jandy Rowe, but now once again didn't bet it, so I guess I can't puff my chest out too hard. But I gave it to you on the betting show as a pick. I liked her. Too. I think she finished at plus 180, so that would have been great value there. 35 years old, which I think that's where a lot of people and bettors were kind of wary, like, getting a little older, fighting what, appeared to be a young lion in Lupi Godinez. But, Lupi Godinez is pretty small for the weight class, even strawweight, only 5'2". So Jenny Doba was pumping the jab out there, and it was hard for Godinez to get past the jab. And Godinez is not really able to get takedowns. I gave Jandy Doba 1 and 3. I believe one judge or two judges agreed with me. One judge gave every round to Jandy Doba, which I see, I understand. I like Godinez in 2. It was that super awkward, like they pretty much both had like their legs tangled up, and yeah, Jenny Doba can see everything coming at her from all angles. Correct, Michael. I see what you did there. But yeah, man, Jenny Doba. I mean, round 2 was kind of a toss up. I'm not dying on any hill. Their legs were tangled up and they're like punching each other from like a entangled jujitsu, like kind of leg lock position. Wasn't great. Sure, give that round to Jenny Doba if you want. I thought in those kind of awkward exchange, Godinez was landing the harder shots, but not dying on any hills here. The right girl won. 5 defender spot against 10. Um, I personally have Jandy Doba power ranked 7. I think, I have like Lamos ahead of her, Jan Janan ahead of her. Granted, that's still including Carla Esparza. I forgot Esparza was cut. So I have her at 6, basically splitting hairs there. And then Godinez, I still have her ranked 11. She still has the win over Tabitha Ricci. There's a lot of fights you can make there at the back end of strawweight. But yeah, Jandy Doba, man, she ain't done yet. She ain't done yet. Still stacking quality wins. And Jandy Doba, I've lost money betting against Jandy Doba before. That's why I wasn't eager to pick against her this time. Like, she finds ways to win fights. She got that jab. She has the great grappling, kind of good fight IQ. Yeah, enough of a dog. Not super technical on the feet, but a dog for sure. Yeah, some good win. Important win for the strawweight division. We keep it pushing to, the return of quitter Herbert Burns, plus 280, taking on Arce coming up from bantamweight. And I was all over Arce, but the problem is so is everybody else. I mean, early in the week it was minus 500. Some late money came in on Burns. He got it down to minus 355. So minus 355 on like a 4 or 5 leg parlay. Arce would have been worth taking, but there was no way I was taking it at minus 500 when I was looking. Arce does miss weight here by a pound, which is weird because he came up from bantamweight and then missed weight in the weight class above. I guess maybe he just thought like, oh, this is going to be easy. I'm not going to take it seriously because it's 10 less pounds. But yeah, that was kind of strange. But regardless of the weight miss, Arce, I gave him a 10-8 in round 1, man. He was piecing up Burns, going to the body, coming up top, outboxing him, stuffed his takedowns. I mean, was never in any, danger really with the grappling. But and also, sorry, it was a 10-8 because of the point deduction. But yeah, Burns, I think, did the exact same knee, like back to back, like low, like nut shot knee to to RSA, got the point taken. So RSA won the round, but wasn't like 10-8 damage. Got the point deduction, ends up being a 10-8. Doesn't end up matter. We don't need the scorecards here. TKO in the second round for RSA. You know, I don't really know what you do there. I mean, I guess you just put him back in the mix at the featherweight division. He's a good fighter. Burns, I believe, is probably done. I think that was his first fight in 4 years, and he looked like shit and got finished. So super done with Burns. Um, let's see here. Where do I got RC? Let me see where I got him in the featherweight division here. Oh, I haven't even moved. Oh no, yeah. So I got him at like 28 in the featherweight division. So there's some fun fights you can do with RSA. Keeping it pushing to more featherweights, we got Dennis Mazukia minus 120 taking on debutant Connor Matthews plus 100. And I got to be real, coming into this one, I kind of considered Mazukia a can. I wasn't super high on him. Here in my respect, no longer have him in my can tier. I'm taking on like debutant Connor Matthews, and like I gotta say, Connor Matthews, he loses this one, but like showed us some things. He had some nice footwork and switch stances, kind of some speed, like some good striking. It didn't work out for him. And kind of as the fight went on, Bazookia, looked good and kind of took over. Bazookia definitely had the power advantage, started to pile up the damage there. But I don't think I'm necessarily out on Matthews. I think with a little growth and, a few little more cage time, like I'm not completely out. Like might be worth holding the stock there. But and then Bazookia, like I said, I drug him up from the depths of my can tier. And like I said, I put some respect on his name. He has some power. He has some great cardio. Some he has some skills. He's good. He trains at the Cerro Longo gym. Not bad at all. Gets to the third round TKO. Like I said, I'm not really out on either of these guys, but I also don't think either of those guys are world beaters. We'll keep it pushing. Another debut guy in the light heavyweight division, Ebo Aslan. Me and Harrison both picked Aslan. I didn't bet it, but Harrison did. Harrison had it on his parlay. Minus 125. I think Harrison got it like minus 130. Like I said, we just couldn't catch a break with the value at the book. And taking on Anton Turkalj, who I do consider a can, basically going to always fade Turkalj. This was an interesting case where Aslan's only loss in his career was to Turkalj. So Turkalj, I still faded him, or we did as a show. So yeah, man. So this ends up getting fight of the night. I kind of don't agree that it was fight of the night. I mean, they got after it. There were some wild exchanges, but like personally, like I said, I'm not high on either of these guys. I would have rather seen Buckley get the bonus money, if I'm being honest. I would have rather given the hell, or Amherst made that one fight of the night, even though it was only one round. I thought there was better fights than this one. Hell, yeah, no, not JD Doe, but yeah, there were some close fights, and I don't necessarily agree with this being fight of the night. But Ebo Aslan gets a third round KO. So just not super high on him. He's kind of sloppy. He's a strong guy, powerful guy, just kind of wing shots. Doesn't have good striking defense at all. Doesn't have good footwork at all. He has a chin and power, but not super high on that. And then Turkalj, like I said, if he's not cut, I'm gonna keep fading him and keep winning bets against him because he's tall, tough guy. Just not really a believer in his skill set. Then up next, we got Andre Petrosky versus Jacob Malkoun. Bizarre fight. We'll, I guess, eat our crow on this one, but like this ends really weird, so I don't even really know what to do with it. Got Andre Petrosky coming in at plus 200 dog. I got him at plus 175. Still can't catch a break on the value. Harrison got him at plus 205, so got a little bit of value there. Taking on the 5'9" Jacob Malkoun, minus 245 favorite. Pretty small for the middleweight division, but he's quick and he's strong and he's tough, so size isn't everything. Ain't that right? But Andre Petrosky, round one was super close because like Malkoun wobbled Petrosky at the start of the round. He just caught him with a jab. Petrosky has a sus chin for sure, especially coming off the knockout to Pereira. But later in the round, Petrosky wobbles Malkoun with a big left hand, and then he gets a takedown, but doesn't really do shit with it. got some leg kicks off. So I had round one to Petrosky. So it's the only round that we complete. That's why I don't feel super bad about, betting it or giving it out as a pick, especially as a dog pick. Like I think he in a way proved that he wasn't, a 2-1 worse than Malkoon. Because in round two, so Malkoon wins this by TKO. So I'm sure it sounds like I'm making excuses here, but it was such a weird deal to where like I'm still not sure what happened. And I've watched slow mo replays in our group chat. Harrison said he got caught with like a short right hand on the top of the head, which I saw that, but I just don't see that being like a knockout blow. And then like on the broadcast, they were talking about maybe Petrosky hit his head on Malkoon's hip bone when he went in for the takedown because he shot in for a shot and then just got like Johnny Walker, like disoriented, wobble of chicken legs and falls over. I still don't know what happened. It seemed kind of fluky to me. So I don't feel super bad about betting it or giving it out as a pick because that seems fluky. Call that an excuse if you want to. Ended very strangely. Um, I basically have Malkoon and Petrosky in the same tier because I gave the round one to Petrosky, but it's very close. Ends in a weird fashion. I think they're very comparable fighters, and I don't think either one of them are world beaters or have a huge future in the company or anything. Let's keep it pushing here. The curtain jerkers. Last one we're going to talk about. First fight of the night. We got Angel Pacheco plus 370 taking on Keelan Loughran, I believe is how you pronounce that, minus 45 favorite bantamweight division. This was a no bet for us because as a show, we kind of consider Loughran a can. We're not super high on him. I mean, maybe not a can, but definitely not a world beater. And for the books to have a debut guy plus 370 dog to a guy who I don't really, have a ton of respect for the skill set, like not the biggest, I'm not super high on Keelan Loughran, I guess it'd be a nice way to put it. And like, so this was a no bet for me because it's like I'm not betting on Keelan, and this guy must really be trash to be a 4-1 dog to Keelan. So learned my lesson from the Stephen Nguyen bet a couple weeks ago, and this was a no bet for me. Round one I thought was like pretty close. I mean, mainly because Pacheco busted Keelan's nose and got some nice calf kicks off. I thought Keelan still won the round, though. He was landing clean, hard punches to the head, getting his own damage off. Good round, fun round. And then in round two, Keelan really pulled away. I went 10-8 Keelan. He got the takedown, like 3.5 minutes of control time, advanced position, got a bunch of unanswered ground and pound. Like, I wouldn't have been mad if they stopped it. Like, that's how I arrived at 10-8. Like, some refs, especially what we saw last night, the Algio stoppage, like, some refs probably stopped that. So 10-8 for Keelan for sure. Round three was actually a war, man. Pacheco, not a huge fan of the skill set, absolute dog, heart and balls and chin and all that. Comes back, makes it a scrap. He wobbled Keelan in the third round. Never looked for a way out, but Keelan absolutely destroyed Pacheco's leg. Once again, Pacheco, like absolute dog. So many guys would have found a way out of there. Keelan gets the win. Two judges agree with me. Or no, one judge agrees with me, 30-26. Two judges go 30-27. I'm cool with it either way. I think Pacheco, I mean, it sucks to say this, and it doesn't sound nice, especially after that performance where it was like entertaining and he showed so much heart and all that. But I do believe Pacheco is like a can. I will probably be fading him moving forward. And then Keelan Loughran, I got him out of my can tier, but barely. He's like literally one spot out of my can tier. Like, obviously, you can't auto fade him because he did win, but just like I said, not a real big believer still. He's short, he's strong. I think there's bantamweight's so deep. I think there's a lot of guys that give him trouble in that division. Probably won't be betting on him moving forward. But yeah, a little unconventional breakdown this week. Went live straight from the channel. Like and subscribe. We'll have the betting video going up on schedule as usual Wednesday or Thursday. We're like 5 or 6 weeks in a row in a green. I think we're in like the high 70s as far as overall pick percentage. Over 50% on the dogs that we're giving out. 3 weeks in a row, we gave you out method of victory props, which always pay, baby. They've been crushing it at the books, the method of victories. So that's why you should like and subscribe. We'll give you free picks. A lot of these other pages, put their picks behind a paywall. We're giving you winners for free, folks. So like and subscribe. And if you tune into this live, thank you so much. And I appreciate your time.